Peace and blessings, everyone. Welcome back to the Socks and Sandals podcast, where economic elevation and spiritual cultivation converge, and we unapologetically discuss our worldview. I am unconditioned. I am unlimited. I am indivisible duality. I am your host, Emmanuel Williams. Peace and blessings, everyone. Welcome back to the Socks and Sandals podcast, where economic elevation and spiritual cultivation converge, and we unapologetically discuss our worldview. I am unconditioned and unlimited. I am indivisible duality. I am your host, Emmanuel Williams. Greetings. You are listening to episode 182. This conversation is being recorded at the GMP Podcast Studios on East 24th and Burnside in Portland, Oregon on May 25th, 2022. Now, just a few announcements before we get started. Today is a historic day for me and my business, Socks and Sandals LLC.
Okay.
You know, that contract I was telling you about. They finally sent the official paperwork. We in that thing.
Stop playing.
Yeah. Flexible services contract for an organization that I will not name at this current time.
Yep.
But a 2-year contract for a nice potential chunk of change, depending on how much work is sent my way. But this is what it's all about, bro. This is what it like. I remember when I first started podcasting about a year in.
Yep.
My parents was like, "So what are you gonna do? You're just gonna like, how are you gonna make money? You gonna have advertisements like a radio show?" I was like, "Nah, I don't want to do ads."
Yeah.
I said I want to eventually like create something of value. I don't know exactly what I want to do, and I don't want to just sell merch. Like I want to have a full. And I didn't know exactly how it's gonna play out.
Yeah.
But bro, this is it. Socks and Sandals LLC is not like it's not my first contract, but it's like my biggest, most substantialist of contracts, bro. Man. So. Yeah, man, it's a historic day. May 25th, 2022.
Today
man.
It came through.
It's a fact, yeah.
Stop
came
playing.
Through, sign that thing, send it back. We good. We in
Let's
there.
go.
You know what I mean? But with that being said, let's move forward. I have an amazing guest with me today, a man of many talents. He's a husband, a father, a master motivator, a strategist, an entrepreneur, the founder of the Underdog Mentality. He's back for the second time. He's back like he never left. He's back like a chiropractor on vacation.
Let's go.
None other than my brother, Tyler Monk. Tyler, welcome back to the pod, bro.
Hey, fam, I'm grateful to be here, bro. This is a day coming. I've been pumped since, we did the joint back at the library before pre-pandemic, and let's go. We in here, man. Congratulations, bro. Man, First of all, fam, I know because we've been running each other periodically at the gym.
Word.
We've been chopping it up about what's going on. We brief because we trying to get the work in.
Yep.
Right? But like I know we've been talking about this, man, and that's a huge blessing to you, man.
It's big, man.
Congrats, fam.
Thank you, bro. Thank you, man. It's been a long time coming.
Yep. Well deserved.
But we've been planting seeds for quite some time. We've been working. So when you plant seeds, like something gonna spring up.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So
cultivate that, put it in the sunlight, get it some good nutrients, bro. That's gonna take care of itself.
That's a fact, bro. But before we get started and before we get into your story and your journey, man, just tell us what's a typical day in the life for Mr. Tyler Monk, man.
Oh man, that's a good question. So honestly, man, with me, what I love about what I'm able to do now, right? Like being in left September 2021 from the job. So we in for, good 8-9 months now. It's the amount of flexibility that I have. When I talk to people, I talk to them about making sure, I talk about passion and purpose, which a lot of speakers talk about. But one thing I think people don't hit on enough is lifestyle. And lifestyle, not only just being the money that you make, but it's the environment that you work in and the flow that you work with. And so I need flexibility, man. I'll be quick to reschedule a meeting with somebody if my son, like transparently, we were supposed to do this last week.
Yeah.
And I said, bruh, man, my son been canceling all his baseball games. Bro, can we reschedule? Because I prioritize, and that you're very important to me. But it's like family.
Oh, come on,
first, right?
So because I would do the same.
Absolutely. And I feel like people don't do that enough. They're scared to ask. People are asking for permission. And Drake said it. Don't ask for permission. Ask for forgiveness. That's
a fact.
Essentially. So that's what I feel like it's been able to do for me, man. So it's been a blessing, man. Things are growing. Things are coming at me faster, almost sometimes than I can take. But it's a blessing. I much rather have more business and opportunities to influence than not having those.
Exactly.
I'm loving it.
You want to have them good problems.
Man, them good problems, bro. We ain't complaining over here.
No doubt.
Absolutely.
No doubt, bro. So let's, for those that don't know you, those that are going to get to know you, tell us about the backstory of the Underdog Mentality. Why did you develop it?
Yeah.
One, Or one, what is it? Why did you
Sure.
develop it? And when did you know that you wanted to build a business behind it?
Yeah, that's a great question. So for me, I'm 37. It was about 33 years old that I realized, like, I'm living out my passion. I'm living out my purpose. I'm serving my community. I am helping young folks make that transition from high school to college and college to career and navigate that life. But I still didn't navigate that process from college to career. And it had been about 12 years since I got my degree.
So you were a teacher at the time?
I wasn't a teacher. You could call me an educator. I didn't have a traditional educational degree. I had a degree in recreation management, focused on leadership theory, running a nonprofit, helping, scholars transition into that space. And I found the educational sector that was good for me. But the reality was I was playing small. You know what I mean? I wasn't really living into my full potential. And I had folks like you. I had folks like some of our other friends that we've grown up with. My wife, the main person, saying, babe, you ain't doing enough. You could do more, but you get comfortable. I got flexibility. I got certain time off. The salary's not horrible, but it's also not anything where I want to be.
It's something about getting that check every 2 weeks that kind of, it can kind of not kill your motivation, but it can rock you to sleep a little bit.
Absolutely. I was speaking to a gentleman the other day. I was at an event I keynoted at, and we were just talking. And I asked him, so you're an entrepreneur, you own your own business? He's like, nah, I need that. I want that consistent. You know what I mean? And I was like, I praise to you because you found what kind of lifestyle works for you. I know for me, I just need that flexibility. So when I thought about this at 33, so about 4 years ago, we all got together. We was reading books. We was having conversations.
Yep.
Wasn't a lot of action being taken yet with all of us because we were just trying to build a foundation.
Right.
And from there, it gave me enough, I would say, inspiration and vision, to figure out, okay, how can I turn into people asking me all the time to come speak at events for free, come facilitate conversations, do workshops, which I was, look, all this is retro pay.
Yeah, man.
For all
That's
the
a
stuff.
fact.
All the stuff we've done for years. And so
Yeah.
I just sat down and, I opened up a Google Docs to be transparent with you. I Googled a business proposal and I started typing,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty good with my words. And so I put some stuff together and no lie, I sent my first proposal in off of a Google Doc and they said, this is one of the best proposals I've ever had. I've ever seen.
Look at that.
And I got my first contract. It was for $10,000. Best believe, boy, I went home. I said, babe, we set.
Hey, we out there.
10
Like
racks.
we out the hood now.
10 racks. Pandemic hits, everything gets shut down.
Right.
And had to rebuild and rebrand and everything, man. But for me, the underdog mentality is essentially, it's a mindset. It's really an unwavering belief in ourselves, despite the situations, the circumstances, or the critics that surround us. You see, I know, you're a black man. I'm a black man. We grew up here in this city. And, there's so many exterior barriers that are out there that are forced upon us that we have to bust through. And I think for me, I've just always had a resilient mindset just based on my upbringing, my childhood, my brothers that had influence on me. And it just made me very resilient and I would say very particular in the responsibility I have for power of choice. So I'm not going to say I don't care what the situations are. I take those into consideration. Obviously, a lot of us are out here with less opportunities than others or discriminated against. And so my challenge to us and to folks that are in those situations is, what are we going to do about it?
Facts,
right. And
facts.
so I know for me, and it's a gift that I have. And I know I've been given this gift to just persevere and to have a mindset of optimism and realism within that. But an ability to just overcome those barriers and those challenges, because really, I don't give a F. I mean, at the end of the day, like, if these are my situations and my circumstances, yeah, they might suck like vacuums. Look, bad. Look, but the reality is, if that's the reality, that's not what I'm not going to perceive that as reality. I'm going to perceive that as what it is, but I'm going to think about what could be. And so what the underdog mentality is, we help people tap into the power of their potential so they can lean into their greatness, to realize even though your situations, your circumstances, the people that surround you might be negative, you can change that by the power of choice and how you choose to think and how you choose to move. It ain't going to happen overnight. It ain't going to happen in one day. People think that I just built this from like, oh my gosh, look how fast you've been growing. Bro, we've been doing this for 15 years. I've been speaking. I've been doing this. I've been doing this for 15
Been
years.
rapping, like it's
Man,
all spoken word.
We've been doing it.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
like Luda. When people thought Luda was because I love Luda. I mean, I don't really listen to Luda anymore, but old Luda was cold.
Yeah.
And Luda, they think Luda just came out of nowhere. This brother was selling CDs out of the trunk for 10 years in Atlanta.
And he was in radio and all that.
All that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it doesn't just happen overnight.
Nah.
And I'm just grateful, man. I'm in a space, man, where I'm happy. I'm very content. But we're still growing and we still making it happen. So yeah.
That's what's up, man. It's a beautiful thing. And like you mentioned, like, you know, I've been there to see the growth and the maturation from ground zero. You know what I mean? And so, you know, when me, you, and Emmanuel Solomon, shout out to E.
Shout out to E.
You know, when we were meeting up at Starbucks over there off, you know, by Jansen Beach.
Jansen Beach.
Reading, we read Crush It. What else did
Crush It?
We read,
we were reading a book on selling.
Oh, we were
something selling. I can't remember what it was called.
I forgot about that one, bro. I was thinking of the one that was like mind.
Was it the Willpower Instinct?
Willpower Instinct.
Yeah. That's my jam, bro.
Yeah. That was
man.
hard.
A white lady professor, young lady from Stanford, put me on
breaking
game.
She was breaking it down, bro.
I use her content all the time.
Yeah.
Shout out Kelly McCongo. That's her name.
Yes.
Look her up on YouTube.
Yeah. So we started back then, and then it's been growing. And of course, our mutual friend Nisa Bowman. Shout out to Nee.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know he's poured into you. He's definitely poured into me. Out my course and the way that I teach and the way that I've been able to develop my philosophy is a direct result of, you know, the game that he was kicking to us. You know, so it's been beautiful to see.
Man, it's been beautiful, man. Growing up together, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and just seeing
man.
it. And just growing, and you know, we wasn't connected like that after high school. I mean, we got reconnected probably 10 years after high school.
Probably so.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At church.
Exactly.
So like, oh, what's up, bro?
I wasn't connected with nobody. Like, bro, working in Beaverton and living in Northport, like after I got home, bro, I wasn't going nowhere.
I'm doing a app on 26.
Come on,
lost
man.
your mind. I'm doing nothing.
Oh man, it was terrible. So,
how many times did you hit the back roads and hit up? Was that Skyline?
Skyline,
come down Burnside?
Go down Cornell, Burnside, all of that, bro.
Gotta figure it out.
Yeah, man, just trying things out. So,
shucks.
But yeah, bro, it's been beautiful to see your transformation and your rise. Pause. So, I want to throw a quote at you, because what you were saying it just made me think of this quote from As a Man Thinketh.
Ooh, James
Allen, one of the greats.
Listen, it's low key like you're reading the Bible scripture sometimes.
Facts.
But boy, if you hit me with the quote I think you hit me with, I'm ready. Go on.
Bro, it's like the heaviest 25 pages I've ever read, bro.
It's only 25 pages?
It's only 25 pages.
Damn, you know how long it took me to read that?
A long time.
Bro, I had the book, but I would always just read it on my phone.
Oh.
And it was like, it took forever, because because when I read, I really want to process. I'm not just gonna be like, oh yeah, I read that. I was like, nah, I'm trying to get something.
It's too heavy to just like. It's not a story.
No,
it's like heavy gems just being dropped left and right.
Principles, mindset. Ooh, James got the juice.
So James, he said, men are anxious to improve their circumstances, but are unwilling to improve themselves. They therefore remain bound.
I use that quote all the time.
Yeah, you knew I was going there.
Yeah, I knew that's the quote.
That's the one.
Look, that's
that one, bro.
I got a couple of my favorite quotes. I got another one about commitment, but people are really, really, really excited to prove their situation.
Yes,
but they don't want to improve themselves. Therefore, they remain bound to the consequences of their actions or lack thereof.
Oh, you wheeled the whole way. Yeah, let's go.
I try to paraphrase that joint.
Yeah,
because
go ahead.
Yeah, so the consequences of your actions are really the lack thereof. Everybody's excited. There's this concept, and this is what from Kelly McCongo talks about. She talks about this concept called the promise of change. It's those warm, fuzzy feelings you get when you think a good thing's coming. What's your timeline look like on around December 30th?
Oh my God. New year, new me. I'm getting ready for all this. You know, it's just like.
Taking trips, getting in shape, getting my body right, blah, blah, blah. Same person 2 months later. Oh, you know what? I was at 24. It really wasn't working. I think I'm going to go to LA.
I'm done with 2022. Where's 2023 at?
Right?
Like, oh, okay. Okay.
Oh, don't listen. Around Thanksgiving, I'm just waiting till the new year again.
Oh my!
And they repeat that cycle. So for me, that quote resonates so heavily because essentially it just comes down to committing to the things you said you wanted.
Yeah.
In those feelings, you were excited, but doing those things in the moments when you don't have really any motivation.
Yeah.
And so I love that quote, man. I say that all the time. That's my favorite quote. Like that sums up the book.
It's one of the hardest quotes I've ever come across. Like it's just packed with because men are anxious to improve their circumstances, but are unwilling to improve themselves, to improve themselves. So essentially what I get from that is we create our circumstances. We have way more influence on our circumstances than we think.
Yep.
And our circumstances, our outward life, part of it is a thought. It comes from our thoughts.
Absolutely.
And our thoughts create our lifestyle.
Yeah.
Right? If with all due respect to some folks, if your car is messy, that's what your brain look like. That's what's going on inside your brain.
You got McDonald's,
you got shit
all
all over the
bags
place
coming out.
Yeah,
I don't fool with y'all with the dirty cars.
There's a lack of organization, a lack of clean, like you just kind of doing whatever you want to do.
Yep.
And but we want to improve, we want to have a better life. We want to make more money. We want to have a better job. We want to do all these things.
Yep.
But we don't work on ourselves.
You don't work on yourself.
And we look at everybody else and what's happening in our external environment. Oh, well, if this person, they got a bad attitude. Well, they just whatever. And for me, like, I had to overcome, not that you overcome it, but like you got to overcome knowing that racism exists. Yep. But also knowing that the way that we fight racism is making sure that we control what we can control. Because racism is essentially, we're going through life we've been thrust into a world and into a system that we did not create.
Tell about it.
And so because we didn't create it, we don't have control over the narrative or the status quo that we have to operate in. But in every area of activity that you can take back that narrative and take back, like you control your own area of status quo. Yeah. That's how you fight racism. Bro, and that's how you create a better life and create a better universe around you. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
yeah, every time I hear you speak, bro, I get smarter every time, bro. No, my mom, bro, like really, because like you are so pro Black folks and empowering them and helping them reach a perspective of understanding, but you do it in a way that I feel is really unique because you did it just like how you said, right? Obviously, racism exists. It's out there. We know it's out there. We've experienced it. Everybody at different levels, whether you're consciously aware of it or unconsciously aware of it. And I also love, we recognize what that situation is. But my Black people, right? Like we have an opportunity for the power of choice. And what are we going to do? That's one of the main reasons I wanted to become an entrepreneur. Because I was like, nah, there's a lot of limiting factors why I couldn't be in certain rooms or, couldn't have certain influence. And I said, I'm going to create the environment that I want to live in. One of the other things he talks about in there, you probably heard of that. I know you read the book. He talks about like a man's mind or a person's mind is like a garden. Yep. Right? Whatever seeds you plant are going to grow. Facts. Right? And so I have this concept that I talk about. You either planting seeds of weeds or seeds of roses. So for my weed heads out here, I'm saying weeds with an S. I ain't talking about the bud. Listen carefully. Right. So whatever seeds you plant are going to grow. So if we are constant, and the reality is this, we wake up negative. Right? There's the concept called ants, automatic negative thoughts. You wake up and if you don't feel good, you automatically negative. You wake up and you late, you're negative. Like we wake up almost all the time. Like our first thoughts are those of worry, anxiety. What do I got to do? They're not like motivation, inspiration, vision. It's like I'm worried about something. So we plant those seeds, and whatever seeds we plant are going to grow and take root. Like you look at it, like weeds will grow through the cracks of the ground. He talks about it in the book. Weeds will grow through the cracks of the ground. They don't need no sunlight. They don't need no water. They don't need no encouragement. They growing. But to grow some roses, oh yeah, you got to have that in the right environment, the right water, the right care to make those grow. And those are the positive things. So I'll be real quick with this. I think sometimes people think like, me and what I do, it's all about positive thinking. Well, that's part of the process. A lot of y'all are positive polys. A lot of y'all are here reading a lot of these books, and you ain't doing a damn thing with your action. Nothing. It's belief in the mindset, but then it's action on what you're learning and how you want to apply it to your life. And I'm just telling people transparently, when you have belief and you have a mindset and you have those seeds of roses that you're planting, and then you're actually taking action towards it, it might not happen as fast as you want. Some people's going to happen quick. That's just the reality. Other people's going to take a long time. But the reality is if you do those things combined, I believe that you will bear the fruit that you want to see. You know what I mean? And I could just say that because I was a person that was that when the first quote, I wanted to prove my situation all day, but all the time. Yeah, but I don't know if I really want to do that. Right. That's a lot of work. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so the reality is, if you really wanted to change, then you have to change.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And so look, I was like, oh, he gonna hit me with my quote.
Yeah,
You
bro.
got me.
And I like what you said, because like there's a lot in this. I had to protect myself from that. And that's why I started like doing what I did. Like, I'm talking on the podcast. I'm bringing up all these topics. Like, I'm having the conversations. I'm reading the books. Yeah. But what solutions am I providing? And also, like, even before I started the podcast, I was just reading books for just years and just like becoming like an intellectual glutton.
Oh my gosh! Wait, say it again for the people.
An intellectual glutton.
You gotta explain. See, this
just like
what's a glutton?
A glutton, bro. Just like when you're just
absorbing
it all, just eating, stuffing yourself. Yeah, just like overfilling yourself when you eat. It's gluttony, bro. That's a sin. You know what I mean?
It's a concept called the river or the reservoir, right? Are you flowing and you sharing this information? Or are you just reserving it for yourself and just hoarding it? And a reservoir could be nasty, mold, gross.
Yeah, you need some motion. You got
intellectual glutton.
Intellectual glutton, bro. And
that's good.
And then if you just take on information but like don't write notes, so it doesn't really latch on. Like you get inspired in a moment, you feel good when you have that new idea, you actually start to change, like your brain starts to change, like your thoughts, your outlook. But if you don't like take those notes and then like actually put some of that stuff into action, you're gonna forget it.
Yep.
And two, you're gonna think that you're smarter or you're better than what you really are. But you didn't do anything. And we know that with food or with knowledge or whatever, when you take in that energy, it has to go out. And if it doesn't go out, you're just going to get fat and useless. You're just going to be fat and useless. So you can be intellectually fat and useless if you just read and read and read and read and you don't apply anything, because it's like scriptural, bro. Like, what is it? Faith without works is dead.
Yeah, faith without works is dead.
So absolutely. Knowledge without practice is intellectual gluttony.
Yeah.
You know, and you're really hurting yourself. And you're probably hurting others with your perceived, like you think you know a lot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You kind of get this egotistical, like, I'm better than now.
I read 27 books this year. So what
I see it all the time.
And I
bro, you preaching to the choir. Look, I'm intellectual gluttony.
Yes,
still in it. I'm giving you credit, though, my guy.
You got it. You got it, bro.
Come on, man.
So we gotta be aware of that. I don't speak that just to be harsh and just to be whatever. I'm just saying, like, I was that, right? And I understand that. Actually, sometimes you just got to read less, and you got to think. You know, like you got to think, you got to meditate, and then you have to like strategize about, all right, I learned about this thing. How can I create something of value to other people so that they can use it?
Yeah, I think people struggle with two things: the thinking, right, and just marinating on thought. Right? When you think about it, anytime you marinate something, it's gonna be way better. Y'all folks that ain't marinating your steaks, your chicken, your shrimps, y'all tripping. That's out here tasting gross. Do better.
Hella bland.
Man, come on. So you got to marinate in thought, and then people struggle with doing things in the order of prioritization, right? So like, how do you prioritize, right? Like I know, look at my life and I'm like, okay, what's urgent and important? Do that first.
Yeah.
What's important but less urgent? We'll do that second. What's non-urgent and not really that important? Yeah, I'm delegating that. I'm not trying to do that.
That delegation is key.
Absolutely.
Hence why I'm recording in the studio right now.
We talking about
I'm delegating,
absolutely.
Bro.
I'll pay my brothers. Be absolutely. Man, look, I've learned that when I got a little bread in my pocket, I said there is certain stuff I am not doing no more.
No doubt, bro.
Taking too much time.
Yeah, man. So, you mentioned it, bro, but like, you know, not too long ago, a few months ago, you went from side hustle to main hustle.
Yeah.
Underdog mentality.
Yeah.
Talk about that transition. Like a lot of folks, a lot of people, like we desire that full-time entrepreneurship. But you got to be making a lot more than what you was making, you know, W-2 income to really take that leap and be comfortable and be secure in what you got going on. So talk about that transition.
Well, in the back of my mind was always Niece of Boboheme.
Yeah.
Need Soho. Shout out to I'm Not You podcast. Check my man.
That's a fact.
That's it, bro. That's all you trying to do, T?
Mm.
You can do more.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, when you get off my back, I'm just trying to live a little bit. Can I pay this debt down, get this house, get this new property?
Right.
You can do more. And so I always had that in the back of my mind. So I would encourage you to get somebody that's going to inspire you. This is somebody that's going to elevate you, right? Somebody that is going to challenge you when you're in your points of complacence, right? I think it's cool to be content, right? Content means like I'm content where I'm at because where I'm at is growing. Where I'm at is like I'm happy where I'm at, but I want to be more. Complacent is just when you settle for less than. So for me, when I was doing a side hustle, when I was making, I'm very transparent. I'll be very real on this podcast. In my job, I was making around about 60-ish, which is not bad for a nonprofit director. That's actually, more than most of the nonprofit directors make. Unfortunately, that's a tough thing. That's why a lot of folks, transition out of that industry. It's just like they bring so much value, so much work, so much sweat equity. And it's not on the companies. It's just the way that it's perceived and the funding that comes through. So I'm not knocking the companies that I worked for. I mean, I had a great experience with them. So essentially I looked at that and I said, okay, this is how I first looked at it. I secured that first $10,000 contract.
Right.
And I sat down, I said, okay, let me do the math. And we came and topped this up. I said, bro, all I got to do is do 5 more of these and I make as much as I make in my job. Mm-hmm. But what I loved about my job, and I was very transparent with our CEO. I mean, we sat down, I let him know, hey, look, just want to let you know you're going to see some stuff on social. And I'm doing my own thing. I'm doing the Underdog Mentality. I'm speaking. I'm doing blah, 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 doing this, this, and this. And he was very supportive of it. Then there was another executive director in our position in our organization who was very supportive of it. Mm-hmm. And I was growing that, but it became continuously difficult because there was a conflict of interest. Right? Like, are you asking Tyler to come in from this organization I work with, or are you asking Tyler to come in from my speaking? Right. And every time it was from my speaking. Right. They just knew they might have met me through my organization. But the reality is if I'm trash, you're not asking me to come speak at your organization.
That's a fact.
Right. Now, I'm humbly forever grateful for my organization that they really did give me a platform to be more recognized and be more seen. But that's not really my MO. Right. I think a lot of times people are like, man, you could be doing this. You need to be doing this. And I'm like, the reality is I'm just trying to have impact and I'm trying to take care of my family. All that other publicity or like recognition stuff, it's cool if it comes, but I don't need that because I know the people that I'm serving are feeling that, and I know the work that I'm doing, and I'm getting compensated very well, so I ain't tripping at all.
But all the other
I don't need that. So this is what happened. So I got that 10,000, boom. Then I got another 10,000. Then I got but in the first year we had about $40,000 in contracts. So I'm looking like, boy, we sitting well. Yeah. That next year, I was slated. I had about 80,000 in contracts, right? So now I'm making a decent amount more than I'm making in my job. I'm talking to my wife, that I might be trying to transition.
But you was looking at your job different though.
I was looking at my job different. The thing is with my job, the work that I was doing made me better at the work that I was doing in my business.
That's beautiful.
And then I also I would do like the work that I'm doing right now. Like I'm volunteering still with my old organization. I want to still serve, help. We've partnered up. Obviously they're compensating me for some certain stuff, but like I believe in that work. So I still want to do it. Yeah. But I just know that it's not going to ever produce. I've been there for 5 years and I made like an extra like 8 G's. Like my increase went from like 55 to like 63. And I'm like, yeah, that ain't working. I can make that off of Keynote.
You was there for 5 years?
I was there 5 years.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, signed a contract for 5 years. So I looked at it and I said, boom, I was getting ready to leave. Pandemic hit. 6 of those, about 8, 9 contracts canceled. No income from that. Talk about it.
And so there's that balance.
Talk about it.
There's the entrepreneurs that is like, yo, you don't need no job. Like you gotta jump out there.
Tripping.
And then
where's your luggage? You tripping so much.
Yeah, man. And then it's like, then there's the other side of it where it's like, actually you should just keep if you got flexibility and you can move around a little bit and you like, you're not tied to a desk.
Could I speak on that?
There's no reason to not. Yeah, there's no reason to not have something solid if you can keep that and it informs and it feeds your other stuff.
I would tell you this, E. The reality is this, like I think everything comes down to integrity and character, right? So like from the day one when I got that job, I told him, I was like, look, I told our CEO, I said, listen, I'm an entrepreneur. I have an entrepreneur spirit, working on some stuff right now. I don't know if I see myself here for 5 years. I want to be real with you. He said, that's why we want you. I said, well, look, sign me up. I'm with you. Came up, Underdog. I'm really trying to pursue this. Open conversation. This is what I'm doing. This is why I'm doing it. I was very transparent. Now, I know some people don't maybe not have that opportunity because they're like in super corporate America and that you know non-disclosure agreements and stuff. The reality is, why would you look? People gonna get mad about this, but I'm a challenging conversationalist. I'm not a motivational speaker.
Yeah,
I'm an inspirational storyteller and a challenging conversationalist. Why would you sign yourself up for a situation that doesn't align with your core values and your vision?
that's a fact.
If you live in America, there's way too many opportunities out here to work for organizations, to build your own thing, to build your own platform, DoorDash, Uber, do whatever you got to do, because that doesn't ever going to conflict with what you want to do to make enough money to build your own thing. The reality is that most people, it's the optics. They're scared about, what if I fail? Right? Self-disappointment. They're worried about these things. So that was the same thing for me. Yeah. But I remember it like it was yesterday, E. I called my suit because she knew a day was coming. We would have about quarterly meetings, and how's everything going? And I was like, everything's good right now. You know, I'll let you know when we looking to make some different moves. And we was in Bellevue with my wife because she was, in her corporate world. We was up there. She was seeing some properties, and we just taking a nice little walk in bougie ass Bellevue. And I was like, I'm done.
It's a wrap.
I said, I love this work, but we got to go full in. Called her. I said, hey, Felicia, how you doing? Oop, put her name out there, but you don't know her last name, so don't be looking her up. Anyway, here we go. So I love Felicia. She done so much for me in my life and my family. Thank you. Huge shout out. I can do a whole segment on her.
Salute.
Man, she called her. I said, you know what? I'm hanging them up. I think it's time. I'm gonna give her like 3 months, train up whoever needs to come up next. She was she had tears. Like when we had like a little retreat after that, and she was tearing up. She said, you guys, this is what I want y'all to do. This is why I love her so much and respect her so much. She's like, this is what it looks like to be socially mobile and to live into your greatness. And I was just so moved by that, bro. I was like, God darn it. Like, you ain't getting that in corporate America. They pissed. Right. They got to go train somebody else. How much money that going to cost them? So when I did that. Yeah,
they looking past you. As soon as you had that first phone call, oh, yeah, all right, so we need to, HR, come on.
We done.
Job description, update that. Yeah.
And as soon as, I'll finish up with this, as soon as I left, like I said, I lost those contracts. I was making 6 figures in my Underdog Mentality, when I say part-time, emotionally, mentally, I'm connected 100% of the time.
Oh, that's a fact. If you're an entrepreneur, like
people don't understand.
You don't stop. There is no stopping.
And it depends on the work you do. You see, I chose an industry where I'm sharing and selling information and mindset. I'm not selling a product, so I don't have a lot of overhead. I didn't want to have that. I wanted to be able to just give my gift away, and I've been blessed with that, but it's something that I've harnessed and grown. Don't think I just showed up like this.
Right.
Like I remember I took my first personal communications class freshman year of college, and I was nervous talking to grandmas and aunties and baby mamas in here. I was trash, sweating my armpits out. So I'll just say this. After that, I believed in myself, and I believe that your gift is meant to be given. And the more that you give, I really truly believe the more you'll receive. And so after that, losing all those contracts, my business has grown 2 to 3 times that since then. And I've been in San Diego, I'm up north, I'm like in Idaho, and I'm in different places, and I don't have a marketing team. I mean, when you are passionate, authentic, and you add value, people are going to recognize that. At least in the space that I'm in. Everybody's space is different. The space that I'm in, it's really worked for me, but it took me till I was 33 to figure that out. 33.
I mean, but that's not. But it seems weird, bro. Like now that we're 37, I know for me, I'm really looking at mortality. Like I'm thinking about mortality, bro. Right?
It's low. Isn't that crazy?
It's weird, man. But it's like, but we're still young though.
Feeling good. I feel better than I've ever felt. Yeah. Stronger than I've ever been.
Yeah, man. So it's like 33. I mean, Jesus was 33. Like he got it popping when he was from 30 to 33. So it's like that's about that time.
His active years.
Yeah. So that's about that time when you're like really coming to your own. And so, but thank God, like we've taken action. But even if no matter what age you are, like it don't take long to get popping. Rest in peace, and regardless of how you feel about him, Kevin Samuels, he didn't get it popping until he was 55.
Yeah.
or 54, you know, like in his mid 50s. But
he was 50 something. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he was 57. You know, when he passed,
if you dive deeper into him and what he was about, because I shared a lot of videos.
Yeah, who didn't? Like, everybody got caught up. Everybody got caught up in Kevin Samuels during the pandemic. I was talking to my coworker about that today.
Yeah. But like what he really was trying to accomplish, absolutely, bro. It doesn't come for some people it does though. For some students that I work with, like they told me since 6th grade they want to do this, and now they're 25 and they're doing that. For others, it's gonna come at a different time.
At a different time, you just got to keep working.
You have to keep thinking. The thing is, people ain't thinking.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You just think it's gonna come. No, it ain't gonna come.
And you have to do something while you're figuring it out.
Yep.
You have to be active. And so, and I don't want to make this about Kevin Samuels, but like one thing that I learned about him, like after he or really kind of as he came up, he was doing other content on YouTube, and he was just doing like men's fashion, men's cologne, like
he had clean suits,
giving men advice and all that type of stuff. And then during the pandemic, he just kind of switched to talk to women, and then that's when everything blew up. You know what I mean? So, but like he was figuring it out. So his end result, he didn't even intend to create that type of content, but he did.
Yeah,
and it worked. And so I say that to say, like, whatever you're doing as an entrepreneur, like whatever your ambition is, whatever your goal is. And even if you don't even know exactly how you think it's going to end up, just know that if you continue to work, opportunities will present themselves. Absolutely. and your brain is going to continue to grow and just make different connections. And then you're just going to have thoughts that you otherwise wouldn't have if you weren't actually in the field, active, doing stuff. You know what I mean? So
like I tell you, a lot of times you hear the quote about like the best teacher is experience.
Facts.
And the reality is, the best teacher is evaluated experience. Right? So you get an experience, you better sit down and evaluate how did that go?
Yeah.
What can I adjust? What can I change? And so for some people that's uncomfortable. So like one of the first things I do when I come off stage or whenever I'm done with a session, and people are always going to tell you were great, even if you was trash that day, right? I
don't believe nobody. When people get me, I be like, yeah.
like, I didn't have the juice that day.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I was like, so what do you think I could have worked on? Or like, what do you think maybe I could have changed? And then people are like, oh. And they'll like, they'll share the feedback. I'm like, that's great. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Right? Like I was a little long on this message, or this story didn't make sense to the other story. And so you got to learn from those things. It's evaluated experience.
And that's the best part. Like when I do my workshops or my classes, my courses that I give, in my feedback, I'm always asking for like critical feedback. Like I need that. How can I change this? What can I do to be better? Like just what can I do? Like what was left out? What more could I have given?
100%.
You know what I mean? And so, and all that, like it makes me better every time.
You got to be comfortable with well, I would tell you, I'm getting, how do I say this? At the big scale, the big picture, take advice from folks that are moving in a way that you would like to move. But when it comes to like, if you've done a workshop with somebody who was a part of your session or your service, if you deliver services, if you sell clothes, if you whatever business, like take that feedback in. Like like you cannot be blind thinking you're doing everything right. And then like not reflecting on like how you could be better, because that's when your growth stops. So
yeah, that's a fact.
No, absolutely.
Well, bro, we gonna wrap it up, man, with the rapid fire section.
Oh,
so I'm gonna just throw out some questions, man. You don't gotta analyze it. You know what I mean?
First thing to come to mind.
First thing to come to mind, bro.
All right, let's go.
When you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Basketball player for the Raptors.
For the Raptors?
Vince Carter, stop playing.
Okay, with me. VC. Okay. Best advice you ever received?
Be ambitious with your effort, but be patient with the results.
That's a bar. You remember who told you that?
Yeah, one of my mentors from when I was doing some other business ventures, he told me that, and I said, damn it, that's good.
That's hard.
And I use it all the time.
Yeah, that's hard.
Yep.
Worst advice you ever received?
You know what? Money's not that important. Just find your passion. Bro, go try to play some organic groceries at Costco's with some passion. Get your ass out of here. Listen to me clearly.
I literally just watched that clip of you today. That's too funny, bro. I was dying.
Passion is absolutely something that you need. Listen, it's a no-brainer to find passion. Why would you want to wake up and do something you don't care about?
Right.
Find passion, but you better equal the lifestyle you want to live. And if it doesn't, you need to pivot to find another passion within that and how to mold it and try to, monetize it. Come on, man, stop playing. The hell is that? That's stupid about it. What the hell is you talking about, bro? My mortgage is coming on the 1st.
And his passion ain't gonna.
I got kids.
Right. Most interesting person you met in life.
Golly. That's a tough one.
It is a tough one. You gotta think about that one.
You know what? I know I got one right now. I would tell you my sister. I don't know how you knew my sister. You know Melissa at all?
From
interactions around.
Interactions for sure.
So yeah, rest in love, my sis. She passed away about a year and a half ago.
Yeah, rest in power.
But man, she was just a transformative human, man. Like to this day, there doesn't go a week that goes by that I don't log on to social and somebody just posting on her page, just thanking her or saying something or just remembering her.
Yeah.
She was just so interesting, so compassionate. And man, she's had the biggest impact on my life out of any other human. No slight to my wife or my pops or my mama, but man, my sis is my dog.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
Yeah, it's heavy. It's heavy.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, you know what? There was a few questions that I didn't get to, just because of the way that we was flowing. But man, as an entrepreneur, it's emotional. When it's just you doing your thing and like, and everything is on you. Like there's nobody to blame. Yeah. If shit don't work out, it just didn't work out because, what did I do wrong? And then so like you have the best of days and you have the worst of days just in your own mind.
Yep.
With really nothing happening. It's just you analyzing. Yeah. But then when you actually go through like really emotional situations and you've been through more than most. And it's just your resilience to me. Like it's amazing, bro.
I appreciate that. Man.
Like the way that you have dealt with loss. I don't know how much you want to get into it, bro, but like you've dealt with a lot of loss in a short amount of time, you know? But you persevered through it. Like how do you stay positive and stay optimistic and keep your energy levels up to be able to continue to execute at a high level business wise?
Man, that's a good question, man. I'll speak briefly into the loss. You know, I look at it like this, man. I heard David Banner share this, and I steal a lot of people's content and just make it my own. The reality is that's what everybody does.
We all do that.
Come on, bro. Like, I have some really creative ideas. But David Banner said, whatever you have lost, you got to be grateful that you once had. I said, Banner, you got the juice. And I was listening to that at the transition of my sis when she was about to transition. And so, we lost our pops to cancer unexpectedly. Like he caught it, died really quickly. Prior to that, me and my sister lost our mom. So within about an 8-year time period, let's say my moms and pops passed away in a 3-year time period. And then my sister, Melissa, passed away. And then 6 months later, my other sister passed away. And they're both in their 30s, middle-aged 30s. And, I just had this immense amount of gratitude, gratefulness, but grieving at the same time. And it really changed me, to be real. Like, I was having some ugly cry days, just in the car, had a playlist just would listen to it and just would cry, let it out. You know what I mean? And it just was very freeing. And I know that they're with me and I know that they're, still encouraging me. So that's what keeps me pushing. And the reality is this, like, and it's kind of, this is kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? When it's been used a lot, what's that word called?
Oh, cliche.
Cliche.
Yeah.
That everything's perspective to me. I look at my life living here in America. We got a beautiful home. Our kids are healthy. I'm able to do what I love to do. I'm able to move my body. I'm able to still eat pizza and not, whatever, get sick. Like, I can still live a life. And like, there's so many other humans in the world that can't do that. And that might be cliche to people, but like the reality is you have to put things into perspective. Perspective is reality even when it isn't true. Yeah. So I've taught myself to believe in a reality that I wanted to create, even though we was dealing with those difficult times. And so I'm just grateful. I try to come across like that. I love to just hear other people's stories and listen to people. We need to do more of that. Yeah. I think by me just listening to other people's stories, it's selfish, honestly, because it makes it's therapeutic for me to hear what they going through, or and then maybe just share a word of encouragement for you, and it uplifts me.
Yeah.
Right. I think we're so self-centered focused. You hear a lot about this self-care, which is important, but self-care a lot of the times can be it's just self-focused.
Yeah.
Like, fam, I get it.
Yeah.
But they're dealing,
Self-absorbed.
that's a better way to say it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're dealing with this, and you're sitting here worrying about you, fam. Like, they're dealing with something too. You're not the only one. Everybody's dealing with something.
Somebody ate your donut because that was your self-care.
And
donut.
I ain't got no time. Your self-care.
You mad at somebody ate your pips, man? Relax. Come on, man.
So everything's about perspective with me, man. And I think I just got a heart of gratitude, and I got that from my pops and my sister for sure. Yeah. And I'm just grateful, man, for every day, every opportunity, and I'm okay with having those failures. Coming back to this, when you're an entrepreneur, I always have the saying, if it's gonna be, it's up to me. And I love that. A lot of people don't like that. Why? Because they're not really that committed. They're going to quit at the first sign of resistance. I'm a person that's going to push through because I know I am not waiting on you to get something done for me. I'm not relying on you to provide for me. I'm providing for me and my family, and that's the reality of the situation. And then when we blaming other people in situations, are those situations effed up and jacked up and need to be fixed? Absolutely. I'm not waiting on that though.
Bro, I'm
going to do something.
I hate waiting.
Entrepreneurs are impatient.
And so, like, to be like all full disclosure, bro, like, should I say this? I'm already.
Go ahead.
The cat is out the bag. So, I hadn't worked at a job in quite some time.
Sure.
Right? Like, I did the entrepreneur thing. I was like, I quit my job, quit insurance, drove Uber and Lyft to clear my mind so that I didn't have something that worked me so hard to the bone that I couldn't be creative.
Absolutely.
So I was like, all right, I'm only working 30 hours, 25, 30 hours a week. And I'm spending hella time reading books, studying, and developing my business, developing the podcast and developing like my philosophy so I can create my business. And so it was just like, I made enough money in between me and my wife. Like, we was still good. Our expenses is low. Like, we don't spend a lot of money. You know what I mean? So I know we have time, but you know what I mean? They look at like the clock is at 0, ain't it?
He said, what you doing? Oh, they got a clock on us.
Yeah, they got a clock on us, man.
Oh,
shot clock.
My bad, I hit the mic too.
No, you good. So so basically at this job, and the jobs that I had before, it was sales. It was commission.
Yeah.
So I didn't really answer to nobody. I just came and did what I did.
You were incentivized too.
Yeah, I got incentivized to work hard and do what I do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so now, like, I'm just working a regular job. It's a slower pace, but like, I be wanting to get stuff done.
Yeah.
But I gotta kind of like wait and rely on other people to do other things. And I'm like, yo, I can do that.
Yeah.
Let's get it done. You know
what are we waiting for?
But I gotta watch that impatience. But it is good. It's making me grow.
Yeah.
It's making me grow.
Impatience is a pro and a con. Right. And when I say impatient, like for me, I'm not impatient with the results for me to come, like for where it's monetary, where I'm getting money or I'm getting results. I'm impatient to wait on other people to do things that should have been done yesterday. That's just where I sit at it. You know what I mean? Like you gotta have higher expectations.
No doubt.
You rise or fall to those. So
that's a fact.
Much love.
All right, let's run through these last few questions, man.
Okay.
Lakers or Blazers?
Am I finna walk out right now?
I had to give you that
this man. Come on, stop playing.
All right,
Blazers.
Clyde Drexler or Brandon Roy?
Oh, B. Roy would have been. I think B. Roy was a two-way. I think Dame is obviously the best player, Blazer of all time, but Brandon would have been unquestionably second. Clyde couldn't dribble with his left. He had an incredible team, great coach.
Facts.
Just different league. I love Clyde. Clyde's the third best. Clyde's the second best, but if B-Roy would have been healthy, easily second.
Facts. Damon Stoudemire or C.J. McCollum?
Ooh, people ain't gonna like me for this. Damon was cold. I don't even know how to say this. I just felt like when he came here, he played his point guard role. I was looking for the Dame from the Damon from Toronto, 20 and 8.
Yeah.
And he came here and he was really solid. Still had a 54-point game and all that. But man, CJ had some big playoff moments for us. And I don't know. I just feel like I grew up with CJ. Dame was playing when we was like a middle school, high school, and I was watching, but I wasn't like watching interviews and watching the podcast. And I really like CJ, man. CJ's, as a player, I'm gonna take.
I could
CJ.
tell you wasn't watching Damon like that, bro. I'm taking D Stott, bro,
over for the Blazers
over CJ. Oh, I mean, just at any point in time, like just
so you do know if you put this on Twitter and say
Damon Stott,
he's not gonna be over. It's not a CJ, not even close.
It's the same thing as saying rank LeBron and MJ. We know MJ is better, but LeBron is right now.
No.
Yeah,
I don't.
But let's not.
Okay,
let's not. But we can put it on Twitter, bro.
I'm gonna put it on Twitter after I'm done.
Damon Stoudemire in his
Facebook.
prime is you. I would take a prime Damon D Stott over a prime CJ.
Why?
Because Damon was that dude.
When
Toronto and even
in
Portland,
L's.
but even in Portland though, like as far as because what is CJ? Is he a point guard or is he a shooting guard?
Okay, this is what CJ is. CJ is a combo guard who played behind one of the 75 greatest
Is
players
he a
of all
point
time.
guard or is he a shooting guard?
CJ can absolutely play point guard.
But he
Every
really can't. Though.
No, listen to me. We ain't got enough time for this. Listen to me.
He's a volume shooter that takes bad shots at the wrong time.
See, look, I love that you
early
put these
in the shot clock.
I know you put I know you put these in specifically for me because I know
I did.
You did, and I love your intentionality. See, look at me, CJ McCollum. Go look at the stats. If I'll figure out how to pull it up on the line. If you look at CJ stats when Dame has been out, the man's averaging, I would easily guess 24 and 7 or 8 assists. Like he's efficient.
But you know, Damon Stoudemire was the rookie of the year.
He was rookie of the year, but I love Dame. So this is a hard debate. Okay, let's give it a tie.
Let's give it a tie.
I don't want my homies like I love Dame. Like, come on, bro. He's from Portland. Went to Wilson. Come on, stop playing.
All right, man. Jermaine O'Neal or Rasheed Wallace in their prime.
Jermaine worked on his game. Rasheed was all talent.
Mm-hmm.
Sheed never really lived up to his full ability. Like he could have been one of the best. He could have been maybe not as good as Tim
mm-hmm.
Duncan,
mm-hmm.
but he could have been top 5 power forwards of all time. But he just showed up, played his way into shape. Jermaine, I was upset when we let him go.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we all were.
I don't even know what we got for him. What we get for him? Jalen Brunson?
No.
Who do we get?
Was it Zach?
Rick Brunson? Jalen Brunson in the league right now. I don't know who.
I don't remember. Detlef Shrimp or something? I don't know, bro.
Detlef was cold, but not when he played for us.
Yeah. If you could choose any one celebrity as your life coach, who would it be and why?
I like Les Brown. A lot of people might not know Les Brown. He's a motivational speaker, but his story just really resonates.
He's the GOAT, though.
He's the GOAT at motivational speaking, but just more than that, if I had a, like, you know how like they ask NBA players, like, who do you try to model your game after or whatever? Mm-hmm. Like, I listen to him. He's a storyteller, but he's giving you a principle and a message within the story. Mm. And I think he could me and him would vibe. Yeah. Less.
Yeah. You the first person to bring him up, but that's a good one for sure. Yep. 3-month fully financed sabbatical. Where are you going?
Well, I don't need a sabbatical because I'm an entrepreneur, so I can take that shit when I want. Stop playing with me, boy.
I like it.
Get your money right. Get your money right. But no, I'm going to, we got to go to Guam. My wife is from Guam. My kids are, half Chamorro. And they got to go. My wife, she just went back because her father passed away, unfortunately, but she took our oldest.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's all good, man. He lived a life. But anyway, our kids had never been, and they always asked to go, and it's about 2,000 round trip per person, and we got a lot of kids, so we gotta, that's where we go.
That's what's up. If racism ended tonight, how do you think the world would change?
So when you say racism ended tonight, so basically everybody's mindset changed, and racism doesn't exist anymore.
Racism doesn't exist. How would the world change?
I think there would just be an immense amount of love, compassion, and empathy. I mean, you think about a kindergartner. I mean, unless they're being taught at a young age.
Oh, yeah.
They don't care. They don't understand that. They don't know what that means. Mm-hmm. They just love with empathy, compassion.
Mm-hmm. Man.
That's what I think would happen.
Beautiful. If you woke up tomorrow and realize that you hit the lottery for $100 million, how would you spend your time and your money from that day forward?
Oh, I'm giving away at least 80% of it.
Sheesh.
I don't need, I just think I don't need all that, bro. Mm-hmm. Like, what for?
Yeah, we was talking about that before we started recording. You literally was talking about that.
Excuse me, why? Why?
Yeah.
So I'm being very intentional. I'm doing it right now, and we was at this event, and I paddle raised for $1,000, and after I was like, shit, we got to pay that now. And I'm just like, but I'm blessed to have the means to be able to do it.
Yeah.
So I would be giving that away very intentionally to organizations, charities, folks that I know need that. See, if a lot of times people say I'm not money motivated, money's evil. Money's amoral. It doesn't have a moral compass. Money's not good nor bad. It is what you do with it.
Right.
So I think that changes our frame of reference. So I would give at least away 80%, whatever. You said it was 100. I got 20 mil still.
Yeah.
I ain't tripping, please.
Good, man. 80%, bro. That's
why.
Yeah.
I don't need all that. I'm good. We're gonna keep building and we're living our life, and I'm giving.
That's that abundance mindset. It's gonna come back anyway.
Don't live with that scarcity.
Right.
It'll haunt you.
And how much does a person need, like you said? Last question. What message do you want communicated at your eulogy? You won't be there to enjoy it, of course, but what message do you want communicated?
You asked me this last time, and I don't remember what I said. I'm going to go off the cuff. Man, just that I love people. I was a listener. I was an encourager. I love my family and my community. You know, it's simple for me. Just centered around love, encouragement, empathy, and being a listener. I just think we need more of those folks. I want to be a person that like people know they can come to, and I'm not always coming with solutions, but I'm just listening. Yeah. So a listener, a lover, and an encourager.
Simply put. That's beautiful, man. Yep. How can the folks get a hold of you? Give them the socials and the website, all that good stuff. Yeah. So check me out, the underdogmentality.net. I know the .net is kind of trash. We talk about that later. But just you Google it, you'll find me. But I'm on all platforms. So, you know, Insta, LinkedIn, if you're on the professional tip and you don't do the other socials. And Twitter, Facebook, you know, the Underdog Mentality, you can find me. You know, I do speaking, keynoting, workshop facilitation. So just reach out. I love to connect. No doubt. Once again, appreciate you, man. Second time. Yes, sir. And it was a good time. It was a great time. No doubt, man. Once again, welcome back, or not welcome back, but I appreciate y'all for listening to the Socks and Sandals podcast, where economic elevation and spiritual cultivation converge, and we unapologetically discuss our worldview. Holla at y'all next time. Grace and peace. Thank y'all for listening and watching the Socks and Sandals podcast. Make sure you go to emmanuelwilliams.co for all things socks and sandals, all things that I do as an equity trainer and equity practitioner. Grace and peace.